Hello everyone, Marty Snakes and Residents here, and today I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on The Walking Dead Season 5. Now, I have interesting opinions. Now, granted, if you enjoyed this season, if you actually think this is a good season or a great season, that's fine. More power to you. And I know most people would be like, you're being too negative on the show. No, I love the show. I love The Walking Dead, it's a great show. Um, I don't hate it, I'm not negative towards it. So even if I try to express, if I have there's like a season I clearly hate, I'm not trying to be negative towards it. I'm just trying to express how I overall feel. So I hope you guys understand that. So season 5 for me is the worst season of the show. Yeah, even worse than season 3. Because at least for season 3, I kind of went in having some high hopes. It just turned out to be disappointing. So let's go with each storyline. So let's first start with the cannibal storyline. Now, to me, this was a good storyline, except it was just way too short. And that's another problem with the season. The season structure is incredibly way too messy at times. And comparing it to like the Flash season 7, which I will compare it later, to me the cannibal should have at least had 4 episodes at best. That way, great development, great storylines, etc. I think 4 episodes is a little bit more is a lot better than say 3. And you can kind of make the argument, technically they had 4 episodes with season 4, episode 16, and the first 3 episodes of season 5, but I still would prefer if they had another episode. To me, it would have been a lot better. And also showing some flashbacks as to how they became cannibals, in my opinion. Etc. Now, let's talk about some of the new characters, Abraham, Rosita, and Eugene. I didn't care for these 3 characters. Abraham started unlikable, but towards the middle section of season 5, he became more likable. Eugene, don't care about the character at this point. It's like every time they have a character saying that there's a possible cure for the Walker virus, and it turns out there's still no cure. It just comes out as really bad writing, because it's like they constantly want to make you think that there is a cure. Or it's like first you had the CDC in season 1, then you had in season 2 where everyone's infected. Season 3 you have Milton. But here's the thing. There's like 4 seasons with season 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5, and there's no cure. To me, it's starting to become a bit of a problem when you have characters constantly saying, oh, there's a possibility that there's a cure, but we have 4 seasons now where there's like no cure. So that's a big issue with the show. They should try to make the characters a little more remorse on what's going on, because constantly having characters babble about how there's possible cure kind of comes off as irritating, because you know there's no cure. So it's one of my main problems with the entire show. Rosita started out as a mad character. I didn't care for the character, though she gets a little worse over time. Yeah. Though we have a great character in Father Gabriel. As someone that's an atheist or doesn't believe in God, I think Father Gabriel is a great character. To me, just the tragedy behind the character was really nice. In fact, made me actually kind of feel like he's an actual good person, you know. But anyways, let's get into the worst part of the season, the hospital storyline. Now, I want to compare this to the governor's storyline in season 3. One of my main problems in season 3 was that, technically speaking, the governor was really not that a bad person. I don't know why Michonne kept thinking that he's a bad person. I didn't see him as a bad person. And I think the problem with Dawn was they correct this point by making a villain unlikable, like unlikable, but they went way too far with it. To a point now, I just didn't like the character. I didn't like the villain of the hospital. I didn't like Dawn because they just kept doing the exact opposite of what they did with the governor. Yes, villains like this work. Like with Negan, it worked. Shane, it worked. Pete, it worked. But sometimes it's better when they don't have it. So I think that's one of the problems in season 5. Also, I just felt like Beth's death was just pointless and just straight up stupid. Like, just why? Like, I get Emily Kinney was a little busy with the Arrowverse at the time because this was around the Flash season 1, and obviously Emily Kinney, for those who don't know, actually plays Buckeye Bandit on Arrow in the Flash. That's why I'm pretty sure she, because when I first watched the show, I also predicted that Beth would die season 4 or season 5. There's no way she would have been killed in like season 6 because she was literally probably filming Arrow or Flash at the time. So, and same with Tyrese. I knew he wouldn't make it to like season 7 because he played Tobias Church in Arrow season 5, at least in the first half. And to me, I think, yeah. And, yeah. Now, let's go to the Alexandria storyline. At first, I was not a fan of Alexandria. To me, it felt just like Woodbury. It felt like a place that just didn't fit right. And episode 13, the party episode, felt extremely out of place. Sorry, I don't buy The Walking Dead having like these party scenes. I could buy it for like a Marvel vs. DC Walking Dead storyline show, but not just The Walking Dead. To me, Marvel vs. DC Walking Dead works a lot more because you have multiple characters and they can prevent the zombies from like entering areas, so it makes a little bit more sense, but not like on a show like this. So for me, it felt way out of place. Though I should mention, Alexandria slowly grew on me as time went on. Yeah, so Alexandria slowly grew on me, so that's a positive I could say about the season. Now, that said, let's talk about one of the biggest problems with this season, and that is Sasha. Sasha was just an unlikable character the entire season. Like when they were, like after Bob's death, she became terrible. I didn't care for the character, she just kept moaning and complaining, which grew me to actually hating her character so much to the point I just couldn't stand her character. And same in like, in the long walk. Like there were so many moments where Sasha kept complaining about, oh, we should take out the walkers, we can take them out. And even in the Alexandria storyline, I just couldn't care for her character. Just why? Why? Now one positive for the Alexandria storyline is the characters of Aaron and Jesse and Pete. They were actually some great characters. He was probably the best villain of this season. He's my third favorite villain on the show, but he had like 2.5 episodes because he technically was the main villain for episode 15 and 16, but he technically wasn't, but was revealed, around near the end of episode 14. That's 2.5. Comparing this to Godspeed on The Flash season 7, Godspeed had 4 episodes, but also had an episode in season 5 and season 6, and a few episodes in season 6. I think he had 2 episodes. So automatically, that's 7 episodes in total. So technically speaking, I'd say Godspeed was a bit better than Pete because he had more episodes as a villain at least. I still enjoyed Pete's character though. I still enjoyed his characters, just that I wish he had more episodes. Like in episode 12, maybe you see a scene of like P abusing Jesse, like as like the cliffhanger, showcasing that P is not who he really seems it is, etc. That way he would gain more development and more, etc. Hope you understand what I mean. I also want to talk about the finale. The finale was just straight up filler. Sorry. Unfortunately, I don't really like the season 5 finale apart from the Rick's speech, killing the walker, and that's about it. All the finale is just Rick wandering around Alexandria trying to talk with people about the meeting that he has. Unfortunately, I just didn't care for the finale. It's not a good finale in my opinion. It's better than the season 8 finale, that's for sure, and also the season 7 finale. But to me, it's a bit underwhelming when the season 5 finale is literally straight up filler. But I hope you guys understand what I mean. Overall, what grade am I going to give it? I'm probably going to give the same grade as season 3, an L, or D minus. I'd say it's worse than season 3, because at least season 3 had some good moments. The prison arc was probably the best part. The fights between Woodbury and the prison were great, and just some character growth with Glenn. So I'd say I'd rather watch season 3 over this, because at least season 3 tried something new. Season 5 did not. I mean, season 5 is still better than, like, say, Supergirl, Netflix's Daredevil, better than those. But I wouldn't really quite call it, like, the best season of the show. So there I have it. Those are my thoughts on season 5 of The Walking Dead. What do you think of the season? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Good.